Okay, ready for a deep dive into a concept that's both fascinating and incredibly useful. It's called the ant and the elephant, and it's for anyone who's ever felt stuck, like they're putting in the effort but not getting anywhere.
It's a common experience, and this metaphor really helps explain why.
Okay, so lay it on me. What's the deal with the ant and the elephant?
Imagine you're a tiny ant determined to walk north. You're focused, motivated, you're marching along, but here's the thing. You're riding on the back of a giant elephant.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Yeah.
I have to say, I relate to that ant a little too much.
Yeah?
So where's this elephant headed?
South. The elephant, representing your subconscious, your ingrained habits, instincts, it's going its own way. And here's the important thing. The elephant isn't trying to fight the ant. It's not trying to make things difficult.
So it's not this battle of wills. The ant pushing one way and the elephant resisting.
Exactly, the elephant's simply moving at its own pace, in its own direction southward. Now the ant, our conscious mind, might be making all the right moves, taking steps north, but those steps are tiny compared to the strides of the elephant.
Ah, so even though the ant's putting in the effort, heading north, the sheer size and speed of the elephant mean it's ultimately still being carried south.
Precisely. It's a powerful image, right? It highlights just how much of our behavior is driven by those deeply ingrained patterns and habits that elephant within us.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of daunting when you think about it, but it also explains why we can try so hard to make a change and still feel stuck. Our willpower, our conscious effort, that's the ant. But the elephant, that's all the subconscious programming, the years of learned behavior, the emotional responses we might not even be aware of.
So are we doomed then? Are we just along for the ride with this elephant no matter what we do?
Not at all. The good news is we can learn to work with the elephant, to gently, subtly guide it in a new direction. Okay, that's reassuring. But how? How do we influence something as big and powerful as an elephant? I mean, where do we even start?
It starts with awareness. First step is to simply notice those elephant moments. Those times when you're acting on autopilot, maybe even against your better judgment.
Like when you eat a whole bag of chips even though you weren't even hungry.
Exactly. Or you find yourself procrastinating on a big project even though you know you'll feel better if you just get started. Those are your elephant moments.
So awareness is key. Got it. But then what? We can't just snap our fingers and magically reprogram years of conditioning, right?
Right, it takes time and consistency. But remember, it's not about forcing the elephant, it's about nudging it, gently guiding it.
I like that image. Nudging the elephant. So we're not trying to overpower it, we're trying to work with it.
Precisely. Think of it this way. If you wanted to train an elephant, you wouldn't start by yelling at it or trying to push it around, right? You'd use positive reinforcement, patience, small, consistent steps.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do we translate that to everyday life? What are some of those small steps we can take to nudge our elephants in a new direction?
One powerful technique is called habit stacking. It's about linking a new habit you want to build on to an existing habit your elephant already does automatically.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me an example.
Sure. Let's say you want to start meditating every morning, but your elephant loves hitting that snooze button. Instead of trying to force a 30-minute meditation right away, try stacking it onto something you already do. After you brush your teeth, meditate for just 1 minute.
Just 1 minute. That sounds doable, even for a sleepy elephant.
Exactly. And the key is consistency. Do it every day. Once that 1 minute meditation becomes an automatic part of your routine, you can gradually increase it to 2 minutes, then 5, and so on. Slowly, gently nudging your elephant towards a new habit.
That's really interesting. It's all about breaking down those big goals into smaller, more manageable steps. Even our elephant brains can get on board with that.
Exactly. And another powerful tool is something called implementation intentions.
Implementation intentions. Okay, now you're just using big words to make me feel smarter. What are those?
It's a fancy way of saying if this, then that. It's about creating a specific plan for how you'll respond to those elephant moments, when they inevitably pop up.
So it's like having a game plan for those times your elephant tries to take over.
Exactly. Let's say your elephant tends to reach for unhealthy snacks when you're stressed. An implementation intention might be, if I'm feeling stressed and I want a snack, then I'll take 5 deep breaths and drink a glass of water before deciding what to eat.
So instead of relying on willpower in the moment, which is tough when that elephant's in charge, you've already decided how you're going to handle it.
Precisely. It takes the pressure off your ant and gives your elephant a clear path to follow. You're essentially rewiring those automatic responses.
This is so helpful. I'm already thinking about some of my own elephant moments, and how I can use this to start nudging things in a more positive direction.
It's a journey, not a sprint, right? There will be days when that elephant just wants to go back to its old ways. You'll feel discouraged, like you're not making any progress, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's like any journey, you're going to hit some bumps in the road. The important thing is to just keep going, even if it's just one little step at a time.
Exactly. And that's where self-compassion comes in. It's so easy to beat ourselves up when we slip up. But remember, your elephant's not trying to sabotage you.
Right, it's just acting on instinct based on what it knows.
Exactly. So instead of judging yourself, approach those moments with curiosity. Ask yourself, what was going on? What was my elephant trying to get in that moment? How can I support myself better next time?
So it's about understanding our elephants, not trying to fight them, right? It's about working with all parts of ourselves, even the messy ones, the imperfect ones.
Precisely. And when we approach personal growth from that place of self-acceptance and understanding, that's when real lasting change can happen.
This has been such an insightful conversation. I feel like I have this whole new perspective on personal growth. And it's not about being perfect. It's just about understanding the interplay between our conscious goals and those subconscious habits, our ant and our elephant.
That's the beauty of this metaphor, right? It reminds us that we're all works in progress and change is a process.
And speaking of process, is there one key takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with today?
If you only take away one thing from this whole deep dive, let it be this. The next time you're facing a challenge or trying to make a change, remember the ant and the elephant. It's not about willpower alone, it's about building a relationship with all parts of yourself.
I love that. Listen to your ant, but learn to understand and work with your elephant. And be kind to yourself along the way.
Exactly. Progress, not perfection.
Beautifully said. This has been such a thought-provoking conversation. For our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. What are some of your elephant moments? How do you navigate those times when those subconscious habits seem to take over? Share your thoughts, keep the conversation going,